Alright, welcome back. My name is Michael Cooley of the class of 2019, here at PCOM-GA ASHP-SSHP Clinical Skills Competition, case number 1, ASHP 2011 local case for stroke. Alright, my name is Michael Cooley. I'm the PCOM-GA ASHP-SSHP Student Chapter President for the academic year of 2017-2018. I'm currently a P3 working with faculty and staff to provide an example of a Pharmacist Care Plan for cardiovascular health, one of the top disease states seen over the last years in ASHP cases. Just to be clear, I would like to explicitly state that my view doesn't reflect in any way the view of the faculty or staff, the school, or of ASHP. The school has no financial ties or disclosures. This information is not sponsored by ASHP, and for completeness sake, I will say that this information is never to be used as medical advice or substitute for a medical professional. Just to review, an in-depth look can be found at the Clinical Skills Competition Formatting Review YouTube video. But on this slide, I'd like to point out that your SOAP note can be however you like it. Just make sure to follow a consistent format throughout all your cases. And with this, please leave your comments and concerns in the comments below so that we can improve these sessions for everyone else. I hope as we begin our first review that you have an idea of what references you and your partner would like to use throughout. But review can be found on the Clinical Skills Competition Formatting Review YouTube video. Please look at all the materials to find out which one will work best for you. Have you made your own acronyms for the subjective and objective yet? If not, that's okay. I just want to take a look before we dive deeper into the primary or the Pharmacist Care Plan. Let's take a look at our current acronyms. And that's all smash FM with fed tacos in the social history and vape in the objective. Now we begin the subjective, and I'll do my best to not go down a list but focus on the important aspects of the case. For his allergies, or all, hydromorphone causes shortness of breath, or an anaphylactic reaction, so it's important to screen similar opiates before prescribing him. For his past medical history, it's important to note that he has type 2 diabetes, hypertension, a previous MI, congestive heart failure, dyslipidemia, and GAD. There's only one important thing that I'd like to note in his HPI, or his history of present illness, and that it is important to note that he had an acute right-sided weakness, which is going to be very important when deciding your prioritized list. As you can see, he has a family history with his father having diabetes, hypertension, and colon cancer, with his mother having a cerebral vasculature accident, or another stroke. In his social history, there's one factor I'd like to look at, or his main factor, and that would be his lack of physical activity because of his sedentary lifestyle. This is the objective, and although it may seem easier than the subjective, discerning inappropriate and appropriate values will take time and practice. First, let's look at his high BP, which is at 225 over 120, and previously at 161 over 95 and 166 over 100. Now, it is important to note that these values are high. Even if you didn't know the exact values, it is important to annotate the abnormality so your EBM can research the cause. Next, let's look at his blood glucose, which is at 215, 290, and 200 previously. Physical exam shows edema, rales, facial sided droop, and his labs show a low HDL, high LDL, high triglyceride, and a high A1C. Now let's look at the assessment. You will see the answers listed in the case, but you should practice your prioritized list and your assessment first. Also, as we review these answers, remember that this case came out in 2011, and changes to the therapeutic guidelines have been published. Please annotate that and use them to your best discretion. Now, as a student-to-student kind of moment, I didn't get all these answers the first time, but with the help of my peers and faculty, I began to understand the rationale. Let's look at the plan, and although I'm not going to go through every single one, I just want to point out a couple key facts that I hope will help you in the case. As we can see, stroke is the primary issue. Remember that before you treat the clot, the hypertensive emergency must be addressed. If you haven't taken therapeutics, don't fret. This information can be found in the dosing parameters in the printed references.